It is in my humble estimation, yes, that you will make a fine town clerk. Do you believe that, sir?
Well, I didn't come here for that.
Mr. Paul, opportunity comes in a horse and rides out on a donkey. Don't you believe that, sir? I will make representation to the minister that you be promoted to the position of town clerk. And maybe even one day, even become the mayor of Point Fortin. Thank you, Mr. Paul. You may go back to your office. Thank you for your time.
What you forgot is that I've always offered a glass of Coke.
We do not do drugs in this office. Dada, can you call Mr. John Cupid, please? Is Mr. Cupid in? Anyway, I believe certainly that a people without a history is a people that are lost. Don't you agree, sir? And I do believe that as a council, we must take a decision to support John Cupid and the Trinidad Workshop in his efforts to promote emancipation. And that emancipation must be the hallmark of the people of Point Fortin. And maybe one day, it will become a national holiday. Do you believe me, people?
But not everybody shared his vision. And sometimes Victor had to take drastic steps to get his point across.
What? What? Point Fortin cannot get what it wants for the development projects? They have to be mad. They have to be mad, sir. Point Fortin cannot get what it wants for development? I am not yes, sir. I am not leaving here. Point Fortin must get what it wants. Do you understand me, Mr. Minister? Do you understand? Point Fortin must get what it wants.
Even in the hardest of times, Victor found a way. In 1986, the year of the Great Flood, no one seemed to heed Point Fortin's pleas for help. He went to Port of Spain to plead his case to the ministers.
Mr. Minister, do lunch? Do lunch? You ask me to do lunch and the people of Point Fortin have no place to sleep and are in need of help?
But this...
Call the army, please.
Yes, Your Worship.
But this did not deter him. Like a bull in a china shop, he trampled all before him to get the job done. And like the proverbial Noah, he waded through the water to lead a fight for his people.
Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh, why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I?
So like Noah, who saved his people, we choose to end this story here. However, we know that the man, the legend, the story continues. May God bless you and your family, Mr. Chinkit, from all of your people. I want to say a special thank you to our lead actor, former Deputy Mayor Marlon Richardson, putting this piece together. Thank you, Mr. Richardson. And moving on straight into our program, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome the Chief Executive Officer of the Borough Corporation to bring her greetings, Ms. Patricia Bradshaw.
Pleasant good afternoon to His Worship the Mayor, Alderman Clyde Paul, members of council, especially invited guests, the Chinkitt family, Mrs. Chinkitt, and His Worship Mayor Victor Chinkitt. It is indeed a pleasure to be here, and I would like to thank His Worship the Mayor, Alderman Paul, for giving me this opportunity when he came up with the idea of celebrating Mr. Chinkitt at his 80th birthday, and the support of the council in approving the project. We got together, and I'd like to thank my Deputy CEO, Mrs. Donna Grant-Cash, Mr. Marlon Richardson, all the staff who would have come together to put this event here. I'd like to thank Mr. Chauvin Cintilia as Master of Ceremonies. And I'd like to say that for me, it was an opportunity to see another side of Mr. Chinkitt. Because I would have been working here at the time he became mayor, and at the time that Mr. Paul was the town clerk. But prior to that, Mr. Eversley was here as the acting town clerk. And Mr. Chinkitt was here, and I remember him being a person who, as Donna said, he was meticulous. And there was a certain time in my life that there were some personal issues at home. My stepfather was very ill, and I could not get, on lunch times, I had to go and care for him because he was at the stage where he refused to use the adult Pampers, and the caretaker couldn't manage. And I will go each lunchtime to give him a bath to ensure that he was comfortable. And Mr. Chinkitt noticed that I will be coming back to work at after 1, right? So I would have taken more than my hour for lunch. And he mentioned it to Mr. Eversley, and I was called into the town clerk's office. And I then explained, my situation. And thereafter, there was consideration given to me in terms of being able to, to attend to my stepfather and still get the job done. I was allowed to work extra in the afternoon to make up, in terms of make back the time. There was another, soon after my stepfather died, 7 weeks after my mom died, and then I saw a different part to Mr. Chinkitt again, because he was there with me. He didn't just send me a condolence card, a sympathy card, but he came to the funeral, he attended the funeral, he was there at my side in the cemetery, comforting me. He allowed the engineering department to actually manufacture the headstone in those days for my mother's grave. So I was able to see that side of him, and so the relationship continued, and there are several sides to Mr. Chinkitt, but last night I saw a different side. Last night I was privileged to be there with the family as they celebrated him, and I saw a man who had a lot of joy, a man who knew how to dance, something we didn't know, right? Who knew how to dance, not just to dance, but to dance the soca, So there was a fun side to Mr. Chinkitt, and still at this day, at his age, he's willing to enjoy life. He has done so much and accomplished so much. And last night I received something, and I'm hoping that Diane had no intention of using it now, but it says, God bless Victor Chinkitt. He's 80 years young. Definition of a pylon. a tower for supporting either end of a number of wires over a long span. And it says, the tower, my dad, number of wires, all of us, long span, oceans apart, star-studded skies, rolling hills, mountains so high. Thank God for air flights, Facebook and Skype, and for my dad, the pylon of our lives. But I want to say this afternoon that as strong or as formidable that the pylon may be, that the pylon needs to be grounded. The pylon needs to be driven deep into the earth. And there's no lesser person than the lady Chinket, Naomi Chinket, who has served to be that depth, who has kept him, grounded and has supported him through the years. And this afternoon, we also want to pay tribute to you, Mrs. Chinket, because in your own capacity, you have been so much for us in Point Forte in many, many ways. At the health center, I've worked with you. I was in health previously, and I have worked with Mrs. Chinket in health. I've known her in the community. I've had my grandchildren attend her school, and there's a long relationship. And I know, what you stand for. So I pay tribute to you all.